Hello, and welcome to another Open the Gates Gaming stream. We have something a bit different tonight, which we're all very excited about. So I guess maybe we'll introduce ourselves first. My name is Chris. I am one of the OTG team members, and I am going to be playing in the game we're running tonight, which I will let its creator talk about in a moment. So Sean, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Sean. I'm one of the OTG team as well. Happy to be here. Excited to play. Matt, do you want to?
Me.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Matt. I do things on the internet sometimes. I haven't been online in like a month. It's been great. Last I was online, I played with Sean and Elizabeth. We got to do some fun story shenanigans, and I'm excited to check out something new tonight.
All right, I guess that just leaves me. Hi, I'm
Hey.
Nathan. I am the designer of the game that we're going to be playing today. I've been using they, them pronouns lately. So first off, I want to say huge thank you to you all for volunteering to play this game. It is as of yet unreleased. But I've been posting updates about the development on my blog, which you can find over on my website at sinful.games. A domain that I bought like a decade ago in high school when the .games TLD first became available, and I have to use it. I own that domain, so that's my website. So today we are going to be playing Farlands. So Farlands is a collaborative GM-less tabletop role-playing game of cartography, exploration, overland travel, and discovery, sort of following a group of explorers venturing into an uncharted land to draw a map of it and learn more about themselves, each other, and the world that they live in as they go. It's very much inspired by games like Wanderhome, The Quiet Year, Microscope, Ryutama. I really love these collaborative world-building games. And I love these like not pastoral, picaresque sort of travel-focused games. And my goal here was really to try to create a game that sits right in the middle of those two sort of genres, where something like Wanderhome is an amazing game for wandering through a world and exploring it and discovering it, but it doesn't really have, because everything's so narratively oriented, there's nothing that really, unless you choose to create the tension, there's nothing that really creates that sense of pressure and time pressure that you can get when there is sort of some sort of motivation for your journey that puts you on the clock, so to speak. And so it can be hard sometimes to get like a dramatic arc. But games that are more mechanically oriented, like the Quiet Year or Microscope, are very regimented, but they tend not to be very character focused. And I find that I really wanted to capture sort of two things, right? Two sides of the coin here. One of them being sort of the sublime beauty and terror of nature, right? Of that feeling of you look into the distance, you see this mountain and this enormous thundercloud, and you're like, oh, this could kill me without even noticing. That sort of feeling of insignificance, that, beauty and awe and terror that Edmund Burke so helpfully called the sublime. I actually opened the book with a quote from Edmund Burke because it really, really hit for me, which was, "The passion caused by the great and sublime in nature, when those causes operate most powerfully, is astonishment. And astonishment is that state of the soul in which all its motions are suspended with some degree of horror." And it's that idea of like something that is so beautiful it's terrifying, or so terrifying that it's beautiful. But at the same time, you look at that mountain in the distance, and I always remember going back, my whole life thinking, I could go there. Like if I decided to just start walking that direction right now, eventually I would get there and I would see like what is under the trees in this mountain, what is over on the other side? What does the view from the top look like? And those are things that you only learn about when you actually reach that destination. And more often than not, those things are completely different from what you expect, because when you're looking at something from so far away, you only see those huge, massive, macro details. But then up close, it's a much more intimate, sort of small scale, personal discovery. And those things are very much shaped by who you are as a person, right? The person that you are informs what you see in the world and what you're looking for in the world. And that in turn informs the sort of model of the world that you're building in your head as you're exploring and you're making these discoveries. So I wanted to build a game where the characters that you are playing as moving through the world, the things that you notice and pay attention to shape the world that you are exploring, because it changes the way that you see the world, and changes the way that it is represented, sort of literally and figuratively, like on the map, both on the page and the map in your head. So to get started here, I have kind of a quick setup option, but I really, really love the world building stage. And since we decided to do 2 sessions of this, I'm going to indulge a little bit, and I want to go through the full world building, because being fully honest, that it is like half the game to me. I think that I have a set of scenarios that we can use to add a little bit of extra flavor to it, or we can get started just sort of from scratch doing the world building and figuring out the specifics as we go. If we're interested in doing any of those scenarios, the list I have right now is the portal, which is the old world is gone, devoured by avarice with a capital A. We escape through a portal into a new world, and that's why we don't know any of the world that's around us. We have emergence, which is we're emerging from a bunker long after some apocalypse. We have the curse, where we have traveled to a distant land to try to find the source of a curse that is afflicting our homeland. We have crash, where we are trying to find a new planet to settle on, and our ship crash landed on a planet during the journey. I'm not going to do survive because that's a little different. That has some special rules to it. And we have frontier, which is a little bit, it's specifically for Wild West stuff, although you can absolutely do Wild West stuff without using this specifically. It just puts like a little Wild West spin on the setup. And then there's nomads for if specifically we want to be sort of advanced scouts for a nomadic community looking for a new place to settle for the season. Or we can get started just completely blank and get started with the genre and figuring out like what our world is without having that little bit of a seed, which absolutely does work. That is actually how I play the vast majority of the time. But if any of those like scenario options call to you, we can definitely get started using one of those as sort of our seed.
No, I mean, as I think I was talking about with Sean yesterday, I'm very much a fan of like a portal opens in the wall and someone comes out of it, as a way of just like ham-fisting inserting someone into a scenario where you need them. So I would be into that. I also but I mean, anything really. It's the paralysis of choice, right? Like it's the completely blank canvas. I don't know. What do the rest of y'all think?
I'll tell you what, I can give you a specific question. Okay. Do you have a preference for genre? Fantasy, sci-fi, Wild West, post-apocalyptic. Does anyone have any specific feelings? And probably whatever we start from, we will diverge from pretty quickly, but.
You want to go classic fantasy?
Yeah.
If there's portals, it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, portals could be sci-fi, but
that's true.
We could be stargating our way here, but yeah, let's go fantasy.
Yeah, I do classic fantasy.
Perfect. So I'm going to jump to the worlds table. So you all have the quick reference sheets. So the worlds table, it's the second to last page. It's the one with the compass in the upper left corner. And I'm going to the way that this works is I'm going to flip cards one at a time, and we will sort of consider the words that appear on those, and think about how those apply to our world. So I'm going to, for example, first card is the 8 of Hearts. So the 8 of Hearts, is the world wild or is it tamed? And we don't have to just say one or the other. We could say the world was once wild, but now it is tamed, or vice versa. We could say the world is blank, but it is becoming blank. One season is X, the other is Y. Some parts of this world are A, some parts are B. Or a personal favorite, the land is blank, but the creatures in it are blank. So, how do we feel? Is the world wild or is the world tamed, or some variation thereof?
I would offer to the group that magic was once tamed but has now gone wild.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Because I was also thinking tamed moving toward wild, but I like the idea of magic itself being tamed and now wild.
Love it.
I'm putting that down on our Roll20 so we can reference that later. All right. Okay. That gives us a really interesting vibe that like we've lost control of something that we used to have control of. So our next one is the King of Hearts. Is the world shining or is it dull?
Maybe because the magic is wild? Go ahead, Sean.
I would put it. I would suggest shining, but shining like the edge of a knife, a kind of threatening shine to it that is a product of that wildness coming through.
Edge shine. That's very flavorful. I like the little spin y'all are putting on it. It's super. I love playing this game with a new group that I've never played it with before, because I'm like, oh, I didn't realize you could do that. Because the last game I played it with did a really fun thing where we had a piece of paper and I was like, oh yeah, just like write, the words that we choose, the sentences we choose, like in the corner. And in the past games, I'd just put them all in one corner, but they were like, all right, we'll put one in one corner, one in another corner, one in another corner. I was like, just opens up a whole new like thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because we're like, oh yeah, this direction is, stagnant, but this direction is like ever changing. It's just, that was a cool game. I won't regale you with how cool the last game I played was, because this one's gonna be awesome too.
We're gonna be cooler.
Yeah.
I also just want to do a shout out to Piper and Fishes in the Twitch chat, and I understand that Fishes was part of a very incredible game we heard about earlier, in which the players were anthropomorphic animals in a VR sim in a cyberpunk dystopia. So,
yes,
hey, y'all, glad to see you here.
Thank you so much for joining. It's I'm so happy to have like friends in the chat. I just realized I didn't have the Twitch chat open, so I've got that open now. Yeah, who knows if I have family in the chat as well. I shared it out to a bunch of folks, so thank you all so much for joining in. Or if you're watching the recording, thank you for watching the recording. Because there are a couple of folks who I know couldn't catch it live that I plan to make watch the recording. So the magic of the world was once tamed, but is now wild, and it is shining. The world is shining like the edge of a knife, in a dangerous and threatening way. We have the King of Diamonds. Can you read these cards when I hold them up like this? I think my lighting might be.
Not particularly, no.
Really.
The exposure of the. Let me try adjusting my lighting. There we go. That's better.
There we go. Yeah.
I thought more lighting in front of the cards would help, but it had the opposite effect. I was getting glare on them. All right. King of Diamonds. Is the world sunken or is it lofty? Or some combination thereof. Some parts of the world, one or the other. One season.
What?
Okay.
If? Oh no, go ahead.
So one of my favorite things in fantasy books is floating cities that
Yep.
crash into the fucking ground.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
just-
they were lofty. Now they're a problem.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. This was
yeah.
the opposite of what I thought. I thought the places that have now become wild are the places that, as a result of that wildness, have also become lofty. The tamed was all sunken and dull.
So like the wild magic
if,
is like ripping things out of the ground.
Yeah,
What if
or like
we-
elevating mountains or big columns I have in my mind for some reason.
Here's the kingdom vibes.
What if we do something
Why
like
not
this?
both?
Yeah, right. Ruined cities, or like now long abandoned cities that have been ripped from the ground and lifted into the air.
Ooh,
Hell
yes,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just sunken in the sense of like abandoned or lost, but
Mm,
lofty as in the sense of we're way up there.
yeah. Oh, or like tombs are sunken, right? Like necropolises or something.
Okay, but what if the necropolises are in the sky, Chris?
Well, no,
I'm just
exactly. That's what I
saying,
mean. Yes.
If we get the Queen of Spades, this is turning into necromancy.
There's very, very Tears of the Kingdom vibes with the
It's
like
true.
ruins buried underground have now been
Mhm.
raised up above the surface, which I love. I am so here for. I would love to get one that completely throws a wrench into. So here's a question about this big change that happened. Clearly, something dramatic happened that changed the face of this world, which explains why we are now having to like re-explore the world.
Mm-hmm.
It has changed on us. The world is just different now. Is the world healing or is it dying?
Ooh.
Okay. I had a thought. Back to thinking about like, because we didn't go with it explicitly, but it seemed like we were all kind of drawn to the portal scenario.
Yeah.
What if the world is healing, but the thing that it's healing from is being populated?
So to tie into that, what if the healing is restoring its original state? So like imagine if Earth suddenly moved and shifted to become Pangea again. Like how much that would devastate people.
It's like rewilding, sort of a
Yeah.
term from
Yeah.
naturalism. Yeah.
Mm.
Because I mean, if we went with kind of those two ideas, like us showing up here then could pose a problem for that healing process.
Right, because there were people here before, but they all left because something bad was happening, and we showed up late to the party. Like, where'd everybody go?
Well,
Or-
what if the taming of the magic allowed for the construction of this big civilization or all these things that are now ruined as a result of the magic going wild, everything healing. And this is also to me giving a little bit of like fantasy of post-apocalyptic bunker vibes. Like we're the last survivors or somebody to emerge after or we could add a class element here and say all the highfalutin types who were up in the big ruins with the tamed magic, they're all gone now, and it was just all the people who were that were otherwise left behind are now the ones who get to inherit what's left, perhaps.
Yeah, the
So there's a
world is healing
possibility
from the
that,
hubris
like,
of man.
we were
The world is healing from the rich.
hell yeah. First off,
Yep.
so thinking about like the portal thing, did we like go somewhere else to dodge the immediate calamity and now we're coming back through a portal? Or
It seems like, Chris, your idea there was leaning towards a kind of emergence.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe we
time portal.
I mean, also the rich would never seal away the poor or anything because they don't want to look at them.
Ooh, yes, very good.
So maybe the wild magic portaled us to escape.
Oh yeah, or maybe the portals are from the sunken places where we were to the lofty places.
What if sort of a combination of like, what if the portal was not intentional?
Mm.
What if it was
Mhm.
part of this kind of like wild magic, and we were just, down in one of them mines or pits or something, got shot off somewhere, and suddenly, or even just like, shot maybe through time, and we're here. It looks a lot like, sort of, imagine if uh the guy in Planet of the Apes had known it was Earth the whole time.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So during the like immediate like catastrophe, like wild magic chaos catastrophe that was happening, floating cities are crashing to the ground, underground cities are being flung into the sky, we are happen upon a magic time portal and we're like anywhere but here, and we emerge sort of like 100 years later after the dust has settled or something, or
Mhm.
10 years later
Yeah.
the dust is just starting to settle.
And I mean, and maybe
Yeah,
it's
I
sort
like
of,
that.
maybe we didn't just emerge like today, but
Mm.
because like if we're going to explore, we would have to kind of imagine that we've tended to our basic survival needs as a community first.
Mhm.
So maybe we didn't realize that we were still in our home world for quite a while, and it's
Mm.
only now that we thought we had been portaled through space, not time, and only now that we've come to realize that, are we going to set out to try to figure out what the rest of the world is like.
So are we setting out, is it just us, or are we setting out from like a community of survivors who have gathered together, um, that we're exploring sort of on behalf of?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the sort of purpose it gives, and the
Mhm.
desire to return,
Yeah,
Mm.
I absolutely agree.
and perhaps something to kind of protect, or like an impetus there.
I
Mhm.
also like, there's a part of me, the meta part of me, likes the idea of subverting the kind of impulse in fantasy toward the fantasy of rugged individualism that is, I
Mhm.
think, characteristic of US fantasy, of course. So having a kind of community aspect of some kind would be, I think, fun.
So, full disclosure, the original design of this game was built to be like a campaign game where you would do multiple expeditions, returning to the same
Mm.
community in between each.
Mm.
And I
Ah.
realized that the community building campaign, I had literally just recreated the Quiet Year. Just you played one round of the Quiet Year in between each expedition. And I realized I can literally just tell people to do that.
I
I,
mean,
I,
that sounds delightful. Yeah.
yeah. So it works. It's fun. It just adds a lot of bloat to the book, and it does the same thing the Quiet Year did, but not as good because it was also trying to do other stuff. Uh, awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that. How do we feel about this world so far? Do we want to do one or two more cards, to try to get some more specifics?
Maybe another one.
Yeah, let's do another one.
I always want to do more, so I could just keep going with this stage. But there comes a point where you're like, all right, I kind of know what we've got
Yeah.
here. We're kind of answering the same question again, but we have the three of spades. Is the world vibrant or is it muted? I think that this one's
Oh,
not as hard for me, but I don't know.
okay. So I'm gonna stick with, I've been researching like what happens if we had a blue sun,
Huh.
and like what if green plants just straight up didn't exist and everything was red and yellow because that's what absorbs blue light. So what
Mm.
if the magic is fundamentally changing the world in a vibrant and colorful way that we don't know even what food is safe?
Ooh. See, here I was thinking we were just going perma autumn, but I like that more.
Yeah. I think there's an element of both here, right? Because if we're trying to embody a community that is the opposite of the world we left behind, it's a community that's going to be muted in some ways, right? That seems like the world, the community, the society that led to this was a society of kind of abundance and hedonism and individualism, and so we are more reserved, more careful, more uncertain, especially if it's a
Mm.
world we came from a space in which magic was being, tossed about left and right, and we don't know the nature of it or really anything anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Saying that the world is vibrant, but the people in it are muted, are more reserved.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me. All right, one more.
Mhm.
And then we can probably move on. So this is interesting because this defines a specific thing. Is the world windswept or is it still? It's the 10 of clubs.
Interesting.
I think if we are, I'm still thinking about this lofty and versus sunken thing.
Mm.
Um, and I think I'm also now stuck in Zelda mode. I'm thinking like Skyward Sword, or also Tears of the Kingdom where you're up high, right? Like the idea of there being certain areas that are windswept, or that the magic carried on the wind? Is the wind part of the magic?
Ooh.
Is that
So
the sign of the wildness? Is the wind has come back to blow again?
The breath of creation, which
Mm,
is something that I've used in past games. That is,
It could be interesting. So then our characters and community's relationship to wind would change as well.
yeah.
I would say I could devil's advocate the opposite,
Mm,
because as someone I live in a relatively city area, and as these cities are raising up out of the ground, you're creating wind tunnels where it is
mm,
threatening level winds. So you may find like stillness means safeness.
I actually think that's kind of the same thing, right? If the wild magic
Oh,
is
that's fair.
carried
Yeah.
on the wind, then us in the as a community trying to find stability and safety together would find safety and stillness.
mm-hmm.
So it could be like that the sunken places are wind tunnels in part because they are loci of that renewed wild magic.
Mm-hmm.
that's
I like that.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't have any hard and fast rule on when to stop this stage. You can just keep going. I think I have a pretty clear, like pretty distinct vibe. We can absolutely keep going. I would love to also move on and start looking at sort of next steps.
Yes.
So one of the things that I like to think about is what are the people who live in this world like? So this is a faster one, but I love to create so the first part of this is to think about like what are the forms that people take? Are we talking humans? Are we talking fantasy races? Are we talking anthropomorphic animals? Are we talking robots? Um, I love having weird, funky creatures. The big thing for me is I love having like a diversity of different types of people
Mm,
personally. I am certainly never averse to just saying like there are humans and those humans have a great deal of like cultural diversity and like diversity of appearance because I think it gives you more degrees of freedom when creating a character. How do folks feel about what type of like physical form you want to be able to take here? And while you're thinking, because that is kind of a blank slate, the other side of this is to think about culture. And the way that I do culture is to look at the words that we picked in the previous step, which we have tamed, wild, shining, lofty, sunken, healing, vibrant, muted, windswept, still. And to create a culture, choose what word does this culture embody and what word does this culture reject. So, for example, we might have a culture that embodies windswept and rejects wild. So maybe it is a culture of people who are very light and get carried on the wind, but are very focused on sort of rebuilding civilization, for example. Any thoughts that stand out to you there? And I have the notes on what the descriptors we picked from the previous
Okay.
step are on the Roll20. If you want to like refresher on what those are, I can
Yeah.
also, I suppose, I can drop that info in our chat as well.
I'm thinking one thing we haven't done much with, well, maybe in some ways subtly, is the idea of the world is shining, but like the edge of a knife. Is there something? Now I'm thinking about knives.
Mhm.
What are knives for? Knives are tools, but knives are also weapons.
If you ask my boss, they hold down kickball bases.
Sure, tools.
I mean, in some ways, like, to me, that really makes that sort of tool weapon thing make sense with the magic being once tamed but now wild, right?
Yeah.
Magic was once a tool for us or for our
Mm.
society, and now it has turned itself against, or it at one point turned itself against us.
Mm.
My instinct here, as Nathan was describing the kind of way to think about culture was, or like my immediate thought was as a culture that attempts to embody healing and rejects the well, let me throw out one option because I was torn on the last one. Rejects tamed. If part of our framework is that the desire to tame and control everything, including the world and magic and people, was what led to, I mean, not to just keep being me, that massive class disparity that created a set of floating sky cities. In the same vein, I had thought about suggesting we rejected lofty as a, anti class hierarchy framework. But yeah, that was my initial thoughts, but I'm not,
I think stillness ties into that really well too. Like, from a, we need to know who we are and take the time to be with ourselves before we fan out and make the mistakes that we did before.
So you're suggesting like we embody stillness?
Yeah.
Which is
but I think that
really interesting.
I think it ties in nice. Like,
yeah, I think it could be really interesting for us as characters going out into the world, right? Not like, what does it mean to be a community that embodies stillness while we are actively out there and moving and interacting with the world? Chris,
hear me out. Dandelion people.
Ooh.
The idea of being carried on the wind, that we are some sort of plant adjacent creatures that can float with the winds, that desire, but desire stillness, desire rootedness, right?
Yeah, okay. That
I
makes,
haven't thought.
No, I like that a lot.
And there's healing and growth, right? And a rewilding maybe as part of it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if we don't limit it to dandelion people? I'm thinking of like maple seeds and other kinds of like.
Oh yeah.
Samara, the whirligigs.
The little
yeah.
I learned that term recently. It's a good one.
But yeah,
there's a degree to which I like the contrast of like the world has become very like chaotic and like primordial almost in a sense. And we are sort of seeking like, well, if the world is so unpredictable and outside of our control, what can we control? Let's try to focus on understanding ourselves and like mastering ourselves. But in order to do that, we also kind of have to develop some understanding of the new state of the world that we're in.
Yeah.
because part of that seems to just trying to build on that. Part of the problem of a magic sort of high magic elite society is a belief, or could have been a belief, that they were separate from the world, that they could imagine themselves separate from nature and from everything, right? So part of understanding ourselves means understanding ourselves as imminent to, inherently part of, attached to, inseparable from the world we live in.
Yeah, it's the difference between let's reshape our environment to suit ourselves versus let's cultivate ourselves to fit within this environment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, as plant people, we need to remember our roots?
Yes, perfect.
Yes, indeed.
I love this plant people direction. That's really good. And we like have this desire to like I want to bury my feet in the soil and stand still for 10 years and like meditate, but the world has changed all around us and we need to kind of have some idea of how it works in order to make sure that like our community is safe to do that.
Yeah.
And I think also like the community element is a core part of that too, right? As plant people, we want to bury our roots, we want to stay still, but that is good for us as individuals, not good for us as a community.
Yeah, awesome. I love this.
Yeah, as someone in
So-
chat just said, we also have to branch out into the world.
Yeah.
We're just going to be plant puns the rest of the night. That's it.
It's perfect.
That's what Chris started.
It's perfect. I love it. I love it.
I regret nothing, although I also regret everything.
That's just capitalism.
Well, indeed.
Yeah, we're
So-
fighting against that, Chris.
One of the
I am
things.
subscribed to the channel. Anyway,
You sure
sorry.
about that?
No, I'm not. Continue.
Oh yeah, I'm not logged into my Twitch account, so I can't comment directly into the chat. But I guess I can talk directly to them, so I don't need to. Why would
Yeah,
I?
you can.
Okay.
So, I'm not used to being able like saying chat and having that refer to like an actual chat. That's new to me. I'm used to it being sort of the
It's like a bit.
with like the fourth person pronoun or whatever.
Right.
I know that's not actually what it is, but so one of the things that I always like to have is some idea of where it is we're trying to go. So there is something that we have seen sort of in the distance, or we've learned about somehow that we are moving our way towards, at the very least, when we start. So when we first start exploring, we as players may not necessarily know exactly what we're looking for or why we're exploring. A lot of the time, that is a question that we sort of answer through play and discover as we go, like what it is exactly that we're looking for. But the destination that we're looking for is going. So when we start exploring, we're going to have a number of landmarks on the map. I'm just going to pick one at random, and I'm going to flip on the landmarks table. And so we're going to get a, which I believe actually on the quick reference is,
Little stone tower, maybe?
yeah, it's the one with the obelisks. It's the only one with a title because the other ones I couldn't fit the title. I'm going to rework those so that they're more readable. And then I also have a reference in the book. It's not in the quick reference table for the suit telling us how we know about this thing. So that is the 8 of spades. So on the landmarks table, it is an outpost. So there is a place that you can stay that is safe to stay for an extended period. And spades, the way that we know about it is signs of this location are visible from an enormous distance. So the questions for the outpost, and so we actually don't answer these questions right away, but I'm going to ask these questions now. We answer these questions when we arrive at this location, but who built this place, who maintains it or once did, and what was left behind by previous occupants? And I'm going to put on the map, I'm going to label one of these for later as outpost. And if and when we arrive at that outpost, we will find out what is there.
I want to go to the outpost. I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know what, and it's why is it visible from so far a distance? So the next thing here is to think about explorers. So we're at 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
For an hour and a half stream, we're just about halfway there. So that's perfectly on track. So in Farlands, each of us, and I'll play because we have 4 people, I might as well. If I'm just running the game, it's so hard for me to stop from being like, but what about XYZ? I do love sitting there and being like, oh, that's interesting. Like, did you have a family or whatever? But it's so hard for me to stop being like, that's so cool. Isn't that cool? Don't you like my game? Which is like not necessarily productive in a playtest.
I think it's obvious
no,
that
it
we
is-
like your game.
It is very productive and never goes away.
All right, so there are 14 roles because I couldn't stop myself from making more. Each explorer is made up of 2 roles. So each of the roles is a half sheet that you combine together. So, and the way that your 2 roles combine together tell you like what type of person your explorer is. So as you're looking at the roles, think about what type of person would have these specific sets of skill sets. So the roles are artist. You're a storyteller, musician, painter, or poet. You express through art what you cannot in any other way and invite others to share in the fullness of your experience. The cook. You're an expert chef on the trail. You know how to forage and identify edible food and potable water. You keep the team healthy and well fed. The crafter. You're an expert craftsperson, proficient with all manner of tools, well-versed in crafting using whatever materials are at hand. The evoker. You're in tune with the elemental forces of the world. You may have found your power through study of the arcane, discipline and training, or technology. The healer. You're trained in first aid and medicine. You care about the physical well-being of those around you and are trained to look after it. The lore keeper. An historian, scholar, and record keeper, you see the weight of the past upon the world and record your travels to carry your lessons into the future. The mentor, a friend, confidant, leader, you seek connection with the people around you. You know what pushes them forward when the world is set against them. Oh, there's an extra space in this description. I'll fix that later. The pilgrim, you are part of something larger than yourself. You see the truth of your faith in the world around you. The scout, yes. Was that?
Sorry, I was making a reference to the fact that Sean was into this one when we talked about it at PAX East. Anyway.
Yes. The Pilgrim is one of my favorites because it is like the faith-based, it's the one that is most explicitly faith-based. And it's so interesting seeing how it combines with all the other roles because the nature of that faith changes dramatically depending on what you choose for your second role. The scout, you're fleet of foot and skilled at traveling through difficult terrain to find the safest path for the group. You travel light and range far afield. The seer, trained in arts that others consider arcane. Your tools allow you to sense invisible signals and auras in the world around you. The seer is a little like mystical, witchy, occult vibes. The tracker, I guess I didn't really need to read the full description for all of these. It's probably helpful for people in the chat.
Yeah, you started it. You got to finish it.
Yeah, I know. There's only 4 left. You are trained in hunting animals and tracking people through the wilderness. You're adept at spotting the smallest signs of life and traveling undetected. The traveler. You have traveled the world, guided by a keen eye for landmarks and a strong sense of direction. You have experienced the forces of nature firsthand. I'm going to rewrite that. The traveler is very much someone who sort of like lives outside of civilization and travels sort of as a way of life. Think like a nomad or a hermit or like a ranger kind of vibe. Also, the font size is different on some of these. Okay. The truth seeker, you're adept at studying and learning from the world around you and bring with you knowledge of the properties of natural forces. And the vanguard. You are brave or foolhardy enough to confront danger directly to keep others safe, with strength or skill at arms to stand against the forces that would bring them low. So, because everybody gets 2, you are welcome to choose any number of roles, up to 2 roles, and then the way that I typically assign roles is any player can choose any number of roles that they are personally interested in, and then be randomly assigned from the remaining set. So you could choose one and get 1 at random. You could get 2 at random, or you could choose 2. Does anyone have any specific ones that they want to, claim right away? And we can have duplicates. Usually, when I've never actually played with duplicates. Usually, when I play the game, I print 1 of each and don't allow duplicates.
The equivalent of my insistence on an all bard party every time we talk about playing D&D. Okay.
Matt, you had
Matt?
Yeah.
I do. All right. So between chat and looking at the sheet, I now have a fully formed character in my head who is a lion with a dandelion mane.
Oh, it's tanks.
A truth seeker seer, and he accesses his seer magic by plucking the dandelion plumes and releasing them into the wind.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, this is interesting because as we were talking, I came up with an idea for a character, and one of those roles I had landed on was also a seer, but a very different form. My idea, and I'm willing to shift this. There's a couple other options I could go with here, but I wanted to do, because Chris called me out, so I'll do it. A pilgrim seer. And the idea that I had was that I'm a mushroom person. And the thing that I'm part of that's bigger than myself is the big mycorrhizome network, a kind of not hive mind, but a collective kind of fungi consciousness or awareness, which would also be the thing that I tap into in order to sense the auras and signals in the world around me. But
Okay.
I actually think that there's a couple options. So seer could work, lore keeper could work, I think, with that as well, as potentially could evoker. So
yeah, I was going to say evoker has some ability to connect to the spirit of the world and sort of.
Yeah. So let me go with unless this. Sorry, Nathan.
No, I was just going to say it's my Avatar: The Last Airbender role.
I think, Chris, did you have anything in particular in mind? Let me sit on this one for a sec.
Yeah, sorry, Matt, I was distracted by chat. Which ones were you thinking about?
So I'm looking at truth seeker and seer, and I think we should all do seer for different parts of the world's magic, because who better to understand it?
Oh, that's so interesting.
That's very interesting. So it's funny because I was also thinking Truth Seeker, because of the questions, so Nathan has written questions beneath every kind of class or role thing, and for Truth Seeker is what do you hope to learn and who do you hope to teach? And I was struck by who do you hope to teach, but with that. I also there's a part of me that one thing I always liked when I was a kid, we had this botanical garden near my house. I grew up in Miami. And so it had all sorts of plants. And they had cycads, which are these like super ancient form of plants that like hundreds of million years old that haven't really changed at all. And I like this idea of a very long-lived, very ancient form of plant person. So, and I feel like that makes sense for a historian. So I don't know. But that's
if you want to do like lore keeper for that one.
Yeah, which one is? Oh, that is lore keeper. That's right.
Yeah, truth seeker is more scientist. Lore keeper is more historian.
Okay, Lorekeeper then. I could see Lorekeeper Seer. That could be really cool.
I have an idea that is percolating to do something along the lines of I have like a bramble in my head, like thorn covered person who is like
Tumbleweed.
I'm leaning towards something like Vanguard Tracker or
Ooh.
Vanguard Scout and doing someone who is like kind of dangerous, which isn't something that I've done in this game before. And maybe there's a degree to which, maybe there is a degree to which that sort of intimacy is something that I'm looking for and have a really hard time finding on account of being covered in thorns. There's something there.
Your hedgehog's dilemma. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think either we should do the thing where we all take Seer plus something else, or we should pick one and randomly assign the other.
Oh.
I'm good with either.
I kind of want to let Matt do his beautiful idea. So
Yeah.
why don't
No, so I would stick with Seer as my chosen, and then I would
Okay.
randomize the other.
Yeah,
Because
and also
I'm doing those dandelion puffs.
let's do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I want to do Vanguard for my chosen one because I haven't done that in a little while.
How many options are there? 3, 6.
There's 14. And so
my
if we're
my
each
D14
choosing one and then being assigned one at random,
Wait a sec. I have a
we could do a
D14
D10.
somewhere once. I have a D14.
I
though.
also
Oh
do
wait,
have
we
a
are choosing
D14.
one. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. I will roll for mine. Just going down the list and skipping the ones we've already picked. So I'm going to pick Pilgrim. Matt's going to do Seer. You're going to do Vanguard, Nathan. Chris, which one are you?
Lorekeeper.
Okay. Okay. Crafter. I got a 3. So I'll be a Pilgrim Crafter.
Love it.
All right.
I'm going to roll 2. Let's see.
Oh, I don't have any dice.
Oh,
I do have a
9.
deck of cards though.
One,
Can roll
two.
for you if you want.
You know what has numbers
Yeah.
1 through 10?
There
A
you
deck
go.
of cards.
There you go. What you draw, Jack?
4.
I got a 10.
Okay. Let me count
Which
down
actually puts me at Truth Seeker, I think.
Well, I was just skipping over those as I counted them.
Oh, okay.
I think I got Traveler. I skipped over all the ones that we already had. So Lorekeeper, Traveler.
Looks like the next one down the list then would actually be Tracker for you.
Perfect.
Works out beautifully.
All right, and I rolled and I got Seer Scout.
Perfect.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Oh, what's the like transformation animation look like? Right? Is the Seer Scout?
Yeah,
Just a giant eyeball
That's it.
in a sailor outfit. Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Little skirt.
Chris, what was your second one?
Lorekeeper, Traveler.
Awesome. I put those in our Discord chat so that we can remember those. So if you have quick time check, we're just about at an hour. I know there's some mention of having a break in the middle.
Yeah.
If folks wanted to take a quick break, now would be a time to do that. I got to refill
let's
my
do that.
water. So,
Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
Take a quick bio break.
all right, bio break.
Well, see you all in a minute.
And welcome back.
Nice.
Sorry, I couldn't
That was good
resist. I
announcer
couldn't
voice.
resist. Yeah, no, I can do the radio announcer book when I am so inclined. So, when we last left our heroes, we had just chosen our roles. Each of the roll sheets has a couple of parts to it. So I shared in advance with y'all the spreadsheet that'll let you set up your characters. I had Vanguard and Tracker. So each of these roll sheets has a little description of the role. The first thing that I really like to look at is the look section, and just pick any number of descriptors from either or both of those, both of your roles, to build a vibe for them. It definitely seems like a lot of us have like an idea of what we look like already. I think the plant theme is really good for that. But you know, if you need inspiration for like your vibes, looking at those can give you a good sense of what type of person you are. And then they each have two sort of short prompts to respond to in whatever way you want. You don't necessarily have to have answers to those right now. If you do know the answer to them, by all means, you know, put that down. But my philosophy with Farlands is that a lot of the time we are playing this game to find those answers. So if you don't know right now what those answers are, that's probably part of what you're trying to discover through exploring the world. Each roll sheet also has 5 expertises. So these are things that you are likely to be good at just due to the nature of your experience. So from those lists, choose 2 on each of your roll sheets. Choose 2 of those to be strengths and 1 to be a weakness. I get asked this question a lot. The weakness has no mechanical effect. It's purely for flavor. The strengths do have a mechanical effect. When we're overcoming challenges, those will help us incur less stress as we are trying to work together to overcome obstacles. And if you are able to lean into those things that you are more skilled at, it requires fewer of our resources. Each roll sheet also has a set of 3 discovery prompts. Those are used during the scene of the same name, the discovery scene. And those are the set of questions that you can answer about the world during the discovery scene. And those are going to be the specific things that you would look for in the world, sort of apart from anyone else. And then you also have a camping ability. Camping abilities are things that you can do when we are camping to try to recover from any conditions we might have incurred. So you don't have to make any decisions on discovery prompts or camping abilities right now, but it does help to skim through those to get an idea of what kinds of things you will do when it comes time to do those scenes. So I'm going to give folks a moment to look at those things and answer those questions. This is kind of the part where there's a risk of us sitting here being silent for a minute, because if anyone's talking, it'll distract everyone from reading and writing.
I do have to
I
say,
don't know
I
what
feel
the etiquette is
extremely.
there.
Oh, let's say I feel extremely called out by the look descriptors in Lorekeeper, which are, as an historian, ink-stained, bespectacled, frazzled, professional, ornate, and nearsighted. And I might just choose all of them, frankly.
All of the above is a valid answer.
I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Seer just has tattooed, pale, and off.
Off.
Just a little weird.
Ooh, wide-eyed and weathered from the Traveler I like as well.
I've chosen bright, shrouded, ornate, bulky, charred, and dexterous. And in my head, I look very like a lion's mane mushroom, sort of like a bulky, quite tall, sort of dangling, fibrous hair, like a walking willow tree. Bright in the sense, like very bright white and kind of um, active, but also I am a kind of moving mass of fungal hair, essentially. Like cousin it meets a willow tree if they were made of mushroom.
Okay, but when we team up, can we call it the main event?
Yes, obviously.
Oh no, I did the thing again. I did. That's fine.
Bang your forehead on the camera.
No,
Well-
for folks in the Twitch chat, please join Open the Gates Gaming's Discord, where we have a bespoke react emoji of Chris doing that exact pose.
Yep. Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. Yes, and Atlas just shared it in our Discord, so now Nathan can see it. If only, well, maybe I don't know how you do that with Twitch because I am an old, but maybe we
You can
figure out-
upload them to Twitch for free. And if you need help, someone message me and I will help you.
Oh, there we go. So yes, I chose all of the above for Lore Keeper. So I am ink-stained, bespectacled, frazzled, somehow also professional, ornate, and nearsighted. I like to think the professional and ornate comes from I have a pair of very round, but glasses that have like kind of gold filigree around the edges in the shape of kind of roots. And for Traveler, I chose wide-eyed and weathered because I imagine I'm some sort of cycad person. I like to think that cycads like look like big, like they have these big like sword-like leaves, but they come around a central cone. So I think like it's giving Conehead a little bit with then big wild like leaves coming out of my head. Like
It's giving pineapple.
A little bit. Not pineapple. With then, yeah, like very fibrous kind of body with maybe a few of the kind of smaller versions of those leaves coming off.
So yeah, I guess that does kind of partly answer the question of do we wear clothes? We are plant people.
I guess if I have glasses.
You know?
Oh, can we like go? We can Pooh Bear it. Just a T-shirt.
Yeah, this T-shirt. There we go.
Cultural, in fact. Yeah, now that I'm just my mind is filled with all sorts of questions about like cultural notions of what parts of your body are covered and why, which led me to the thought of like what are different plant species have different reproductive methods. So how does that work?
Are flowers like an erotic thing?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But not all plants flower, right? So
But also,
Right.
would plant cultures be concerned about covering reproductive things, or would perhaps the clothing and other things are a kind of subculture or aesthetic or sort of display markers, maybe a marker of your let's say vocation or affiliations in some way.
Oh yeah, are they like professionally like no, I don't like that. We do enough thinking about our jobs.
Because I was thinking about like, what does it mean for someone to be producing berries? Is effectively like, I don't know. We're getting into like reproductive life cycle of the species here, and I don't know if I want to get into that many specifics.
Yeah, maybe we can put a pin in that for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back from that.
Save that for camping talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Chad, what do you think?
I was like, I had an idea and then started realizing the implications of it. And I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to explore that here right now.
This kind of reminds me of the old memes of like if a horse wore jeans, would it like how would it yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like, how would a dachshund wear pants if they wore pants?
Exactly.
Mhm. I'm catching up on chat now.
Oh yeah, so somebody chat just brought up a good point. They're worried about our nutrition, but if we're plants, do we need to forage for food, or can we just exist in sunlight? And what happens when we're deprived?
Oh, what if we had this whole the downtrodden versus the wealthy thing. What if part of the release of magic is or the downfall of those who lived on high is that they were up high and so they got more sun, forcing the rest of us to live in the shadows and the sunken places.
Oh, that's good.
And it could very well be that, like, in an ideal world, we can just subsist on water and nutrients from the soil and sunlight. But because the magic has changed so much, like, we don't have reliable access to that anymore.
Mm,
And so we have to move around and find food to eat or something,
mhm,
Think about it like once we're in a place where everything's stable enough and safe enough that we can root and just like be a plant for a while, we can do that. But for
mm,
now, we're forced to go find food.
And yeah,
mhm,
maybe that's the thing, right? It's not the sunlight that's an issue. It's the water and nutrients we would get from the soil through being still in one place, right? The necessity of movement and the impossibility of rootedness may be the
Mhm.
thing that challenges us to have to find and to figure out
mhm.
makeshift somethings.
Sorry, someone in chat says it's considered rude to eat the floor in someone else's house, regardless of your culture.
Uh, so I made some choices about expertises. I don't know if that's something.
I also have done that, yeah.
All right. I've got good answers for stuff picked out now as well.
Mhm.
I don't have a name yet, though. I'm still
Oh, a
thinking about
name.
that. Um,
Oops.
Oh,
I mean, names are optional. We can call you Chris.
Nah,
Um,
that seems
so
far too prosaic.
I am sharp, graceful, camouflaged, vulpine, and weathered. I have this idea that when that there was a time when I was in a community of people who like either couldn't be harmed by my I am a bramble. I am covered in thorns, and I had the idea that like, oh, is it interesting if like I used to produce berries but I don't anymore because there's not the right pollination happening. And then that was why I got onto the like reproductive life cycle tangent. So I'm gonna ignore that for now. Um, and I think that like one of the things about me that is relatively like distinct is the fact that I am like very well camouflaged in general. And so when I need to be alone, I will just sort of blend into the environment and like observe for a while. And I think that I am gonna definitely lean into like the hedgehog's dilemma thing. I think I'm searching for companionship, and like I have this fear of being considered dangerous, and of like the people that I've hurt in the past sort of coming back to haunt me because I like want to be a part of community, but I don't want to be a part of a community that sees me as dangerous or be a danger to the community. And I'm trying to like lean way too hard in being like, I'm going to be the protector of the community. I'm going to be this warrior when my nature is much more sort of like all of us, much more like to be passive and silent and sort of like try to sort of fade into the background to some extent. And so there's that push and pull there.
can you just remind me your name?
I don't have an in-character name yet. Out of character,
Okay.
it's Nathan.
Yes,
Above
that I
table. I was thinking I had Bramble, but I
There's
didn't
some
know if that wanted to
suggestions
be like the
in
type
the
of person.
chat.
Ooh, there's suggestions in the
Yes.
chat. I
Like
didn't have chat
Brambleman.
open.
Atlas and Cheese Warlord suggested Albert
Alberry.
Aha.
and Alberry, Brambleman the Allberry.
Oh, I do like that. Albury. Brambleman.
Oh,
I do like Albury.
set in the rhythm of Bramble Man because roll back day.
Brambleman. Wow, wow, wow.
Was
Yeah.
it? Was
Yeah,
it?
I made the mistake of looking
Lord, I
up
was
other names
born a
for dandelions,
Brambleman.
and apparently one of them is just piss in bed because that's the effect it has on you.
Is that what we're going with there?
I think that's your name now.
No.
I did a similar thing. I looked up names of cycads, but I found the scientific names, and turns out a major genus for cycads is Ceratozamia, and so I'm going to be Cerato, Cerato.
Yeah, so I'm good at putting myself between others in danger and facing threats without fear. I'm actually not great at pushing through physical pain. I think there's a degree to
interesting.
which I'm kind of sensitive in that way, like hyper aware of it in a way. I'm not great at like predator prey relationships, but I am very good at like moving stealthily through natural terrain, and I'm good at like laying traps and like avoiding traps and pitfalls in terrain for my expertises. And I'm gonna go with Albury. I do like that.
So sorry, I'm getting confused. So yeah, Cerato is a kind of cycad person, as we've discussed, and I realized too, as I'm remembering more about cycads, the cone structure is the reproductive organ, and it like there is a trunk for cycads, so and then they have leaves coming off of them. So I'll have to think more about what I want Cerato to look like. They are yes, they are dioecious, it turns out. So either male, individual plant is either male or female. So maybe he, him. But in terms of my expertises, I chose my strengths are learning lessons from the mistakes of history and extrapolating events from mythical narratives and archetypes, which I think kind of go together. And I think this is where it's truly fantasy, is I like the idea that people do learn lessons from the mistakes of history. So we're going to do that. And the thing
we're departing from realism because this is a world in which people learn from history.
Can you tell what I do in my day job? Anyway, I am bad at, it turns out, employing folk wisdom, which I think, if we're going for the kind of like ink-stained scholar vibe, I think fits. Although apparently I also like being outside because traveler, and so my strengths there are following guideposts in the nature and the sky, but I think that probably comes from lots of study, and finding safety and shelter in hostile terrain. So like survivalist, but because he read a lot of books. And now I'm thinking about the production of paper in this world where we are all plants. We'll put a pin in that one too. I am bad at subsisting off the land.
I have a whole thing about that. There are so many different kinds of paper that you can use. So many different kinds of trees that you can use to make paper, all with different qualities. And that is my next game.
If we want to move away from stripping trees, there's also paper wasps.
Ooh. Oh, that's fascinating.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Oh, I bet there's some really interesting, like...
We can also say there's non-sentient plants, right?
Yeah.
There's also non-sentient plants.
But now I also want to think about, like, are there really strong stereotypes and prejudices about, like, which bugs are good and which are bad? Like, pollinators are really good. Like, but wasps and things that hurt plants are really bad.
Are we getting into, like, bug racism?
Kind of.
In this house, we hate termites.
Yeah. Anyway,
we've already established in this universe
ash borer beetle. I mean, there are plenty of bugs. Spotted lanternflies, ash borer beetles.
We've already established that in this world, like ours, I guess, it is rude to eat someone's floor. So,
True. Just
Anyway,
like IRL.
yeah,
that's what I got.
cool. Okay, so I have strengths, enacting ancient rituals, acts of devotion and charity. Weakness, as I thought this one was interesting given the society we built, embodying inner stillness, as imagining a character who's part of or um, lived most of their life as part of a kind of collective mycorrhizal network. Inner stillness is something that is somewhat foreign to them. And then binding things together and bridging gaps, but weakness is erecting barriers. Yeah, I have answers to my questions, but I'll leave it off for that. Though I will say, I think my character is going to use third person pronouns and doesn't have a name. In my head, this is so. Maybe I'll say. So the questions for Pilgrim are: what tenet of your faith do you embody, and what tenet do you struggle with? So I wrote this. I wrote, we embody togetherness. Wait, let me do this in the voice. A movement to connective purpose. Our faith is ours and us and one. The world is inseparable from us as we are from it. Those of the past had not forgotten this. They knew it, but they refused it. A society built to isolate in its conquest. And then what do you struggle with? Basically the same thing, right? We have been sent on this quest, separate, connected still, but for the first time isolated. We embody togetherness, but I am experiencing in this something new. So they're having they've never had a need for names before because they've never been as separated from the fungal colony as they are now. And then as crafter, I thought their role, the sort of colony collective, has set itself up as building structures, homes, shelters, other things like that for some time. And the thing that they've been that my character is most proud of is the way in which the fungal colony. So we've turned ourselves outward to embrace the collective beyond the colony. We are the colony. They are the colony. We are more than colony. And then who helped you create it is we're all moving together toward the unknowable, and we build ourselves to build together. So this idea that they've reshaped their understanding of who belongs to their community, to include all those who are not fungi as well.
Love
You made
that.
fungal ents. I'm here for it.
So to
Something
some
like that,
extent,
yeah.
y'all like used to be more of a hive mind and you are becoming more individual sort of for the first time? Is that like the vibe?
So we are still kind of not a hive mind, but like imagine constantly being connected, like on a group phone call with people. We have a kind of
imagine
sense of
constantly
self,
being on the group chat.
but like never, or like actually on like a voice call, right? But the thing that the colony has done is reshaped its understanding of who belongs to it to include those that are not part of that hive mind, to include these other plant folks and a new sense of community. But the thing that my character is experiencing is in the movement, in the exploration, they have had to cut themselves off in ways that none of their community has experienced before. So I am experiencing individuality in a way that no other one of my siblings or has ever had to face before.
Oh, I gotta think about that one. That's cool. Oh, Chris, did you have a character name?
Oh yes, Cerato, Cerato.
Awesome.
All right, Matt, if you gotta tell us your name, otherwise it's piss in bed until we're
Okay.
done, I guess. Yeah.
So my character's name is Taraxa Bitterwort.
Taraxa, great. Thank you. I think the chat also came to that one, which was awesome.
Yes. It is also one of the scientific names for dandelions.
Lovely.
So going through, we're talking about expertises, and it's 2 strengths and a weakness from each side, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So from the seer, my strengths are preparing and deploying magical spells or experimental equipment, and expanding my senses to observe the invisible, and my weakness is communicating with others over great distances. And then from Scout, I have squeezing through tight spaces and methodically searching a large area, but my weakness is intuitive coordination over long distances.
So you're really up close. You really vibe up close.
Real up close. And the character. Okay, so I have this problem in life where this character now has a full on life of their own. So have we started talking about questions yet? Are we doing public knowledge for questions?
Oh, I mean,
I
a
did
lot of what
include some of my answers
Yeah.
in what I was saying, so I'd
Okay.
love to hear anything that you have.
Yeah, more or less everything I said was answers to those 4 questions for mine.
Okay, so Chris is the only one that knows a secret about what my character has left behind.
Ooh, okay.
And they started on this journey when they received a double-edged vision of the need for a new place of safety, and their own inevitable end, because each time they use their magic and pull a seed, when they run out, they die.
Wow.
Do they like grow back over time, or is it like non-renewable?
Oh no, like he has a set number of seeds, and once they are gone from using his magic, that is like his aging process.
Oh boy.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I have to think about what you left behind, or we have to talk about it later.
Yeah, we can. So one of the things that happens later on during the game, whenever we do the camping scene, we get an opportunity to learn more about the relationship between individual explorers. So that's a really good time to explore that. Again, like a big part of the setup is giving us unanswered questions to motivate us to go explore. So time check. We just passed 9:30. So if we want to wrap up now, we can pick up next time and drop right into gameplay. I can also go through like a quick synopsis of the gameplay loop now, if you'd like to do that now, or we could start with that next week, depending on how y'all are feeling about time.
I think it makes sense to maybe I don't know, maybe do the gameplay loop like as an intro next time, as a way to like get into it and kind of warm up, and then we can start gameplay. I don't know. I had a couple of thoughts about the questions, but there's some I also want to think harder about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome. I think that absolutely makes sense. I think that I am just going to take a quick screenshot of something and drop it in the chat, because I realize this should be in the quick reference sheets and it's not. So I'm going to just take a quick screenshot of it from the book and drop it in our chat so that y'all can reference that later.
Playtesting in real time.
Yeah, playtesting in real time.
Okay.
Awesome. In that case,
well, here's a thought. Elizabeth reminded us in the chat. We could do Stars and Wishes.
Yes.
And or Sparkles, which is something we like to do, where it's something. Sparkles is something you yourself did that you liked.
Let's save Sparkles for next time.
For next time.
We've been doing it at the kind of end of a game, but
yeah.
Let's do Stars and Wishes. Yeah.
We also didn't talk about any like safety tools or anything, any specific stuff we didn't want to touch on, which I realize is something that I usually try to do at the start of the game, and we totally just started going.
Well, next time before gameplay, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll start. I mean, I love this game so much so far. It's so cool, so interesting, and like thoughtful, and there's so much possibility built into this. So That's my first star. But also, it's just nice to. I'm really enjoying playing this so far with all of y'all. The way we're kind of bouncing ideas off each other has been really delightful and thought provoking in all sorts of ways. I think my only wish is, I want to learn more about this world and see where it goes.
Let's see, stars. Yeah, I mean, I think let's just repeat a lot of what Sean said. This is such a lovely experience and such a cool game. And one thing I'm really enamored by is the kind of the system of these binary pairs that you have, and that we did at the very beginning at the world building. Um, but especially the idea that like it doesn't have to be just the binary, right? That you can kind of thread these things however you want, but that there is that idea of opposition, of duality, as it were, that I find really lovely and kind of and productive in a really fun way. Also, I just star to Sean for coming up with the mushroom ent voice and story like that. That was really awesome. So, and wishes. Yeah, I want to know what's at the outpost. I also want to know, like, Sarato's questions were interesting. What legend inspires you? What legend fills you with dread? And then what pushes you away from civilization? What draws you to the wilderness? And there's something here about a scholar who is also, though, pushed away from civilization that my wish is that I figure that out between now and next week. But anyway, I'm going to think about it. So yeah, that's me.
Stars, I really want to say, I know nobody at home can see this right now, but this character spreadsheet is fucking wonderful.
Yes.
Being able to drop down and just have it filter through everything, and then you just check the boxes of what you have. It's super quick to pick up. Nobody has to type it out. Like it's great. It's fantastic. Would love to pick your brain about how you did the things.
Thank you so much.
My wish is to see. I want to see our first like encounter when everybody figures out what happened. Like the first time we find magic.
Yeah. I like really thank you all so much. This has been an amazing experience for me. I love playing this game with new people. I could not be more excited for to jump into exploring this world next week. As I said before, the world building, the character creation to me is like half the game, if not more than half. Like I always love to say that like random tables are a game, and the experience of going back and forth with y'all on the like that world building table and the degree to which you were willing to look outside the like strict definition of words and the exact way that things are defined and look at like what are different interpretations of what these things could mean is just really something that I absolutely love to see. Like that it is shining, but like in a dangerous, like edged way, or this idea of like, what does it mean if magic is like carried by the wind? Like, there's so much like juice there that it is just made this an absolute joy for me. And like, I couldn't be prouder of like what I've made here, than putting it in your hands and seeing like exactly what I hoped for and more coming out of it. So thank you so much. I think the thing that I'm most excited for is I want to know what our relationships are with each other. I think there's a lot of questions that I have about the world, but I think that like conversation around the fire, although I guess having a fire is kind of dangerous for us, isn't it? But like that conversation at camp at night, those intimate moments, like that was something that I really wanted to capture in this game. And, you know, pulling back the curtain again on like an initial draft of this, my initial draft of this game, character creation took twice as long, if not more, because we did all of the individual character relationships at the start as well. So we would have, in addition to this character creation thing, we'd been like, all right, what is my relationship with the person on my left? What is my relationship with the person on the right? But it's so much. I find so much personal meaning in discovering around the fire, like, how do we interact with each other in this like quiet moment? And I really want to know, like, who am I to you? Who are you to me in this moment? And how does the world we're traveling through as we are on this expedition like inform that? And how does our relationship inform the way that we move through the world? So because these characters are so fascinating and they're so different.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I think I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So
Let me, Chris, let me
please.
read some from the chat.
Yes.
Elizabeth says stars for all of us for the plant turn, which I think was Chris. You initially had that idea, and then the wild facts and terrifying names of things that followed. Cellar Whale says I'm still obsessed with the islands that got torn out of the ground. Also, every character concept. We got magic wind. Big star to Matt for the carving a seed out of your own face. And yeah, so I'm excited, folks, excited to see the world building, quarter adjacent, noting that gameplay is just as much world building as setup is, which is, yeah, a great point there. And another, I'll echo this from Elizabeth in the chat, wishes seeing new chat friends next time and maybe joining the Open the Gates Gaming Discord.
Well, and on that note, yes, please join us next week, same time, same place. And we're gonna, get into the other kind of gameplay, not just world building, but seeing who these characters are, how they interact, all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and see you all next week.